Bible says he has transformed himself into an angel of light. He seduces you by looking good. Is Satan today found in modern music? Is he using pop stars? Does he have to look like Hitler? Does he have to look like Charles Manson? Not at all. Is he using rock and rollers, pop stars, or even you?
Pearl, Paducah, Jonesboro, Springfield, Santee. Kids gunned down at the supposed sanctuary of their schools. And then there's Rod Farrell, the leader of a vampire cult who, for no more than the rush he thought he would get from taking someone's life, bludgeoned a member's parents to death with a crowbar. Richard Ramirez, the infamous Night Stalker, killed and then carved pentagrams into the flesh of his victims. 14-year-old Tommy Sullivan stabbed his mother to death, cutting off her hand and face before turning the knife on himself. In a secluded wood, 3 pre-adolescent boys were stabbed to death and mutilated. Convicted for the crime were 3 teenagers with more than a passing interest in the occult and heavy metal music. 4 teenagers calling themselves the Lords of Chaos began a spree that spiraled down into ever-increasing acts of mayhem and violence, from theft to vandalism to arson. Their rampage ended with their arrest for the brutal and senseless murder of their high school music teacher. 3 young men, ages 15, 16, and 17, believing that a human sacrifice would invoke hell's blessings and assure the success of their heavy metal band, lured 15-year-old Elise Poller into the woods and stabbed her to death. No doubt a good portion of the blame lies with our society at large, our national addiction to ever-increasing doses of violence, gore, and mayhem, reaching down into even the toys that are marketed to our children. The general coarsening of our culture, shattering taboos concerning everything from language to sex.
The Bible does say in the last days people are going to be demon-possessed. They'll fall away from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits. Brian Bassett's story goes like this. 16 years old, shot both his parents, drowned his brother into a bathtub, and Spin Magazine ran an article about the story. It says Brian pulled a small plastic object from his father's hand, and it was his favorite cassette, Frog Stomp, by the group Silverchair. And my friends, the article goes on to say, that's my effing tape. He shrieked. And then the article says Brian stuck the cassette in the stereo, rewound it to the song Israel's Son, and then, my friends, he pushed play. Spin Magazine says Brian started kicking the bodies of his parents in time to the pounding guitar chords, yelling insults at them with each blow. Going on, it says this was for kicking me out, thump. This was for breaking my stuff, whack. Now you're dead. Now, my friends, if you don't believe that Chihuahua sales drove right through the roof after the Taco Bell commercials, you've not studied the statistics. Music definitely has an influence on people.
I think it's absurd whenever the media tries to blame artists for violence, especially, you know, in the context of something like Columbine.
The messages these bands are getting across us, anybody, is nothing harmful to anyone whatsoever. It's not telling you to do drugs, to kill somebody, to hurt somebody. It's just feelings that other people have made you feel.
I never heard of anybody being able to kill somebody with a CD. You know what I'm saying?
When the dudes get bullied and shoots up your school and they blame it on Maryland. And the heroin, where would the parents at? And look where
Yeah, like putting that in the trash.
On your tongue, that's the old man right there.
Now, our senses are constantly being bombarded by an enormous amount of information, and only a